Hello, everybody. This is Angelica Prather going live today. Forgive my tardiness. I actually was live or thought I was live and I didn't press the button to actually go live. So I actually was speaking and realized that I messed myself up. So it's those little common mistakes, which we're going to be talking about today, the common mistakes that we make with coming up with our price point. So for those who are new to me, I am Angelica Prather. I am an income strategist, business coach, and speaker supporting beauty professionals in my signature program, Charge Your Worth Academy. And that's a 6-month group coaching program. It is open enrollment right now. So if you are interested in anything about that, I offer a free income strategy call. And the link will be in the description of this video. So you can go to angelicaprather.com and just book an income strategy call. And it's literally just you and I. I'm not selling you. I'm actually talking to you about your business, where you are in your business and where you desire to go, because there's foundational principles that we all need in our business to thrive. And if you don't know, I have been a beauty professional, a hairstylist for 17 years, and I'm basically giving you my blueprint that helped me work less and generate more. And ultimately, Charge Your Worth Academy is all about working less, generating more, adding more streams of income to you as a beauty professional to kind of free up your time. So our number one goal is time freedom and also generating more money in your business. So if you're interested in any of that, go to angelicaprather.com and book an income strategy call. All right. So today I'm talking about my favorite topic. And it became one of my favorites is because, hello JP, how are you? Thanks for joining in. Of course, if you're tuning in even later, catching a replay, I love that. Make sure you press #replay so that I can just get to see that you're on and then show you some love. And of course, community is everything. So comment, share with a friend, put it out to whoever, because it definitely can always help and resonate with someone. So getting those logistics out the way, I am talking about, like I said, my favorite topic. And this is my favorite topic because I see it becoming a constant thing that either stops someone or keeps them stuck. You know, you want to go to another level in your business. You want to generate more money, but you have this disbelief or these common things that you just think are right, but they are actually hindering you to getting to the next level in your business financially. And so I love talking about pricing. I love talking about income. Why? Because if anything we're doing, we should be doing with clarity. And we should be completely strategic on why we are choosing a price point, right? And so generally, there's some mistakes that I've seen even in my students that are enrolled in Charge Your Worth Academy is the mindset shift or the things that they thought were right to come up with their pricing. So I have a question for you. How did you come up with your price point? This is the question that I start off with most of anyone that knows me. How did you come up with your price point? Did you just pick it out of the clear blue sky, right? And most people can't really share their strategic strategy on how they came up with their pricing. So I'm going to go over 5 common mistakes that because I have even done it. I have even said it myself. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you I haven't done it, but it's something that I see happening over and over and over again. And I want to make sure that that's not happening for you. And so if you are doing these things, it can put you on a break to really see, hey, maybe I need some help in this area, or maybe I just don't know exactly how to navigate and get to the next level financially in my business. And so the first principle that I'm going to cover with you is doing the research. I know that's completely boring, but doing the research on what value are you putting out, right? When you don't know the value that you're putting out to any marketplace, that's if you're a hairstylist, if you're an esthetician, if you're nail tech, if you are a product-based business in any sort or any capacity, if you don't start with the research. And when I say research, I'm going to give you some things that I want you to research. I want you to research your audience that will want your products. So that's where you want to start. Why would anyone pay for you to provide a service for them or to sell your products. I have a product-based line. It's Robin Laurel and Company. And I did a lot of extensive research on who my products were going to be for, right? And when I did that research, I also had to calculate these particular people spend this amount of money on their hair and why. The why is always vital for your business. If you don't know the why, and if it's backed up by money, you're always going to get lost. So you want to make sure that you do extensive research on your audience or who you're trying to sell to so that you know exactly what you are providing the value for them. Why would they want to sit in your chair? Why would they want to get their eyebrows done with you? Why would they want to get their makeup done by you? That's where you start. You start foundational. If you don't start foundational, you find yourself getting stuck. Okay? So that's facts, because I've been there and I've helped and supported other stylists that did not do any research. They just came up with the prices out of their head. And so that brings me to point number 2. Just picking random numbers. This one I can't stress more. It's the biggest mistake that you can pick up because you don't spend time doing the research and you figuring out who your audience is, that you just end up picking a random number. It's like, oh, this would be a good price. I think people would pay for that. What is it backed up by? You pick a random number, it keeps you at a stagnant place and you're not gonna find yourself even attracting the clients that you want. Yeah, if you're low, you might attract a certain type of client. If you're high, you attract a certain type of client. But just picking random numbers, the random numbers lead you down to a rabbit hole. And I'm gonna tell you why. It leads you to a rabbit hole because does it cover any of your things that it takes your business to run? It takes a business financial gain to run. And if you just pick a random number, that random number might not cost you. It will cost you, but it won't cover everything that it needs in your business. So you cannot pick a random number out of the sky because it doesn't necessarily align with what it takes your business to operate in. So picking a random number cannot do. Number 3, it brings me to number 3, is picking your price off of your competitors. So this is where it gets a little tricky. I tell people, audit your competition. There's a big difference of picking your prices based on your competition or auditing your competition. So when you're auditing your competition, you're kind of looking for people that are providing similar services to you in any capacity, any service that they're providing. You're also, when you're auditing and researching about your competitors, you're finding out what's their niche? What are they putting out that's making them special? That is the thing that you kind of need to focus on so that you can focus on what makes me unique, right? What am I going to do slightly different than the competitor? Let me just give you this. There are a lot of beauty professionals, hairstylists, there's a lot of estheticians, nail techs, there's content creators, there's all different type of people. There's massive people in every marketplace. So there's always going to be a high competitive rate. That is a given fact. You should not be intimidated by competition. You should be motivated by competitors, right? Sometimes your competitors show you things that you might not need to be doing. There's a lot of business coaches out there. I am very clear on who I'm talking to, the value I provide, and what my program Promise does for beauty professionals. You, as a service provider, when I was behind the chair, I had to know exactly what set me apart from the next person. And it can't be, I just love doing hair. That's not enough. You really have to sit down and figure out, what are my competitors doing? How do I audit? How do I take from them? But I do not base my prices off my competitors. I don't know what my competitors' overhead is. I don't know what my competitors' business expenses are. I have no idea what it takes for them to show up in their business. I don't have their educational background. Those are the different things. So if I take my prices and say, oh, she's charging $75 for, let's say, a color, and I'm going to lower my price and say $65. That's something we see in a lot of the marketplaces. Like if I lower my price point, then it will make people come to me. Biggest mistake you can ever make. It's not about cutting your competitors. It's literally about, who am I trying to attract and why? Who's my client? Why would they want to sit in my chair? How do they spend? What's their spending habits? If you look at any any business as far as like a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or a Saks Fifth Avenue, they're very strategic on who they are selling to. However, they make their store and their clothing and their branding all around the ideal client. So Macy's will never be a Saks Fifth and Saks Fifth will never be a Macy's, but they're very clear on who they are targeting. So for you who are a service-based business or a product-based business, you want to make sure that you're very clear on who you are serving. And so if you're lowering your price point because you want to cut the competition, you're basing your value off of what someone else is doing. And you're cutting yourself in your own business before you even jumpstart and start finding out how it takes to run your business. So you don't want to undercut. You want to make sure that every price has a backing foundational facts of why you're charging that. Now, you don't have to give your clients the why. You have to know the why. You're the service provider. You're the CEO of your business. You have to make sure that you're very clear on what you are putting out there. And your prices will have concrete blueprint for why you're charging it. So if you're going based on your competition, wrong. Can't stress it more than enough. It's one of the things that I see in the service-based businesses. They look at a competitor and they want to cut their costs, and that attracts a different type of client. So that brings me to my point number 4. Your price that you set attracts a certain type of person. So if you're a low service price, it's going to attract a certain type of client. And you have to know what that client looks like. How do they communicate? How do they see money? How do they value how they spend their money? If you are articulating on your service menu or anywhere on your website or anything like that, and your prices are somewhat lower, and this is not to tell you to raise your prices. This is to get clear on your price point. If you are lower in the low to mid range, you know that this particular buyer is going to be attracted to maybe the price. And then you have to know what they value in their service, right? So if you're providing a service, realize that your price point is going to attract a certain type of buyer, certain type of client, certain type of energy, certain type of mindset. Now, I'm not saying this to deter you if you are in the lower bracket. I'm telling you that this is factual. There's a certain mindset that comes with a certain price point. Do your research and figure out, do I want to put myself here? If I'm lowering my cost from my competition, what type of client am I going to attract? That is always key. You want to make sure that you know that you're not choosing your price based on a competitor and lowering it, because the prices that you put out attract a certain buyer. So make sure when you're putting out your prices that you are very clear on what type of buyer it's going to attract. So that's the point number 4. Number 5, you want to keep learning. And I know this might sound really cliche, but if you're not learning and perfecting your craft as you are elevating in your business, and you want to just raise your prices but still do business the same, sorry, it's not going to work. So you have to put yourself in a mindset. Your mindset has to change, and you have to keep creating a student environment. Because if you're not learning from your clients when you're in a service-based business, this is something that I stress to my students in Charge Your Worth Academy, audit your clients, learn from them, learn what they are doing now, what they want, where their desire to go with their styles, how they're feeling, all of those things. You have to stay a student. So you can't just go and get technical skills and just business skills. You also have to keep a learning attitude around your clients, learning them, understanding them, getting to know they change. As people are changing, you have to change. You have to elevate in your business. And the only way to keep longevity is to stay a student. You want to make sure that you are having a mindset that I'm never going to stop learning. Just like you're on this live right now, you're going to be learning something. And you might say, hey, I know these things. Or maybe this I haven't been taking in consideration to avoid some of these mistakes, especially if you're starting out new in any industry. You want to make sure that you do foundational things to help you charge accordingly, because the worst thing you can do is to find yourself charging and then you're not making enough. You're barely getting by. So this is the service formula that I always teach my students in Charge Your Worth Academy. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of it, but it's something that I ultimately want people to have. It's something that I don't have a problem sharing because I think that some people need to sit down and figure out what am I missing from my business? Why am I not making enough? Am I in business to be on the struggle bus? No, nobody wants to be in business to be in a struggle bus. But if you are on the struggle bus, just think of this formula as your golden ticket to kind of help you build the foundational principles. So if you're coming up with any price point, this service formula will help you. So the service formula that I teach is profit first. So it's profit plus business expenses plus personal expenses plus taxes. So I'll say that again. Profit plus business expenses plus personal expenses plus taxes. The reason why in my service formula I teach those foundational principles is because it covers everything. You're in business to make a profit. Period. If your services do not include your profit, which is what you take home for you, then that's a problem, right? You want to make a profit. You need to put money in your pocket for your business to keep thriving and for you to thrive as a person. If you don't pay yourself first, I just believe in having that first mentality really helps you to kind of feel like you are being valued in your business. Even though you might be working for yourself, you want to take a paycheck home for yourself. So you want to make sure that profit is in your service formula. Then your business expenses. What does it take to run and operate your business? If you don't know what it takes to run and operate your business, problem number one. It's hard to run a business if you don't know what all your expenses are. Know your expenses like the back of your hand. Figure out where you can cut, figure out what you need to add, if you need to hire someone. All of those things are an expense to the business to operate and run. Make sure you know that. Your personal expenses. Personal is anything that I like to say is your household and all of those different things, utilities, all of those things that it takes for you to personally show up in your business, right? And so you want to make sure that that is accurate. Know what those expenses are. And then taxes. 90% of people find themselves in trouble when they can't pay their taxes at the end of the year. I believe in planning. If you plan, you will not find yourself surprised at the end of the year. If you pay your taxes quarterly, you want to make sure that you know exactly how much is coming out. And if you're a service-based business, you want to make sure that from every service, you know exactly how much taxes should be taking out. Now, we do a deep dive in Charge Your Worth Academy where I lay it all out. That makes it very, very easy for you. And it doesn't feel like overwhelmed for you to figure out what your taxes are and how much from each service should be. That is a little deep diver into Charge Your Worth Academy, but these are just basic principles to help you figure out what your service fee. So when you add all that up together, that is what your service fee should be. That's what you should be charging. This is not based on your location. This is not based on your competitors. This is not picking a random number out the sky. It's none of those things. It's factual, concrete information that you have taken, written down. Now you have your service fee. So avoiding all those mistakes and using this service formula that I just given you, and it can be used for a product-based business. If you are a product-based business, you can still use the same formula. It's a formula I use in all of my business, any business endeavors that when I say we, I'm talking about me and my husband. We are business partners in so many different other areas of our life, but this is the formula that we use. We don't just pick a random number. So don't pick a random number because it's the worst thing that you can do. But this formula will really help you strategically, definitely sit down and figure out where am I missing, what's missing from my business? Where do I need to go? And am I charging correctly? Is my prices on the lower side or the high side? It's not about it being so high or low. It's like, am I covering every area of my life, or am I borrowing from Peter to pay Paul because I'm just trying to survive in my business? I don't want you to survive in your business. I want you to thrive in your business. And the only way to thrive is literally having a strategic plan and a blueprint. When you don't have a blueprint to follow, you are figuring it out, and it's definitely creates the struggle and the stress of being a business owner, and it doesn't have to be that way. So make sure that you are not following old habits or old things that were taught to you, or you just don't know, out of the lack of no one sitting down and teaching you these things. You want to make sure that you have a profitable business, because you'll be close or you'll be struggling, and it's not the way to run business in today's society. Period. At certain times, we didn't have a lot of people teaching us. Now we do. So take the information, apply it. If anything of this resonates with you, leave us a comment. I want to know what stood out to you. What are you doing in your business that maybe you've learned that you shouldn't be doing it in your business? Are you going to go back over your service prices and figure out, am I covering all of my, am I crossing my T's, am I dotting my I's? Am I involving in my business, or am I just like staying still? It's not so much about raising my prices. It's literally about, am I where I need to be in order to reach the financial goals I want to be at? And there's nothing wrong with having those goals. So I hope that today resonated with you. Definitely like, share, and comment. I would look forward to just seeing what resonated with you. So if there's anything that resonates, leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.